Hello, Snapchats, tweets, repost, hashtag, etc., etc. If you understand these words and you're over 40, congratulations. Because unless you're a millennial, these words have not been a part of you for the most part of your lives. But because of these devices, they've become an integral, inseparable part of millions and still growing number of Filipinos. I'm Anthony Pangilinan, and in this episode of The Boardroom, we find out what makes Torque smartphones a bang for your buck.
Hi, ma'am, sir. Welcome to Torque Mobile.
Topstras Global Incorporated, makers of Torque Mobile, has had a long history of providing Filipinos with world-class technology in the field of mobile communications and electronics. Its president and CEO, Chris Uyco, had a vision for Topstras Global to carry phones designed by Filipinos for Filipinos. And true enough, his vision became a reality when Torque Mobile was launched in 2008, offering affordable and competitive phones featuring new and cutting-edge technology. Now it's set to launch a new line of Android smartphones that Filipinos all around the world can champion and be proud of. Okay, let's see if this works. All right. Hey, Chris!
Hey, Anthony.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Welcome to our Torquios.
Yes, it's my privilege to have you in the boardroom.
Yeah.
Congratulations! 20 years!
20 years.
If you were to describe the 20 years so far, how would you describe it?
I would say it's a very rocky ride. Fun.
Rocky and fun.
Rocky but fun.
You know, not a lot of people will go through a rocky place just to have fun.
Well, that's the game. That's the name of the game in this business.
So, right, among all these options here, should I consider a Torque phone as my smartphone?
Well, Anthony, it's simple. Where can you find a product this nice, this slim, this durable, and this powerful at less than 3,500 pesos? You tell me.
So what can we expect in the next few minutes as we share this time with you?
Anthony, maybe how we started,
Yeah, that'd be great.
how we manage the business,
Okay.
and what are the future plans for Torque.
Oh, you're willing to share that?
Yeah.
That'll be interesting for me and the viewers.
Yeah.
Well, we can't discuss it here. There's too many distractions. Why don't we go to
The boardroom.
Sakto? Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Why Torque, by the way?
Torque, because there's one movie. It's a motorcycle movie, di ba? And the title of the movie is called Torque. When I watched that movie, I said, wow, I like the movie, and I also like the name.
So isn't it amazing that even the day-to-day things, no, they give us inspiration for business.
Yeah.
So where did you get the confidence to get into a company, you know, with its own local brand when we're not even known as a country in phones?
I would say everything started when there's one time I was telling the driver, okay, can you go to this place and meet me here? Then sabi niya, ba't tagal mo? Then said, kuya, wala mo cellphone eh. I'll give you one. Walang pambili. Because of that, I say, pwede, bigyan kita ng phone. Pero it hurts me, na why can Filipino not afford a phone? During that time, the cheapest mobile phone would be something at the 4,000 to 5,000 price range. Then, when I created Torque, the whole concept here is that I want a product below 2,000.
So the idea to empower these people.
Yes.
They should have phones.
Yes,
They should be connected.
Yeah, they should
It's
be
not so much, wait, I want more opportunities for my business growth. It wasn't really that, no? That was secondary.
My idea here is that when I created Torque is how fast could I make Filipinos learn how to embrace technology by using smartphones. Because I know already either smartphones or tablet, that is the way for Filipinos can communicate properly to their loved ones, to their colleagues. I think that's the reason why Torque was created in the very beginning.
What did it require from you as a CEO from running this business for over a decade, you know, on distributing phones to now owning your brand? Anong nagbago sa pamamaraan mo?
I think it's handling people. I think what really changed for me is that during when we were brands is that we were dictated by the principals. They would tell us, okay, this is the direction that we're going. With Torque kasi, we're very free. We have the freedom to do whatever we want, and it can be customized to the local market.
But for you, an ECE graduate, electronics, communications, or engineering, how did that prepare you? Your 12 years in distributing phones, how did that prepare you? Was that enough preparation? Were you ready to do your own company?
I would say it's a very, very big help. Actually, it really sets the differentiating factor of our brand with the rest of the other brands.
Okay, so let's get to this point. What differentiates?
With my experience in the hardware side, basically, if I'm ECE, is that the good thing there is I could read PCBAs. I could study, I could examine, I could review it, the entire blueprint. I could easily pinpoint which LCD, which touch panel, which battery, which...
Are you saying if I don't even understand what you're saying?
Sorry for the jargons. I don't want to sound too geeky, but the whole concept is that...
But that's it. Your differentiation is that you're a geek.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? At heart.
Yeah.
So you look at design. You look at actual features.
Actual features.
It's not just looking at a nice, phone and putting your brand on it, saying, okay,
exactly.
We're here, present in the Philippines.
Yeah, because the whole concept here is that we build the company not based on entrepreneurship in the very beginning. It's really based on engineering.
Right.
It's really based on engineering. It's that how good are we in hardware that we could review everything in the inside of the phone, the heart and soul of the phone, before we go to the aesthetics.
20 years into the business, and Chris Uyco continues to inspire, innovate, and empower users all over the country on Filipino craftsmanship and industry in the field of technology. When we come back, we discuss with Chris not only how he started, but how he is now managing, and how he intends to grow Torque and the country with it in the coming years. Keep it here on The Boardroom. Passion, ingenuity, creativity, speed. How did the user express this before? Patentero. Ha! But now, things have changed. It's through connectivity and online gaming. Well, since 2008, Torque has joined the tech industry to offer us phones, tablets, and phablets to add to our convenience and productivity. So it's every year of innovation, every year a new offering, but also a new way of marketing, leading, and of course, managing. We hear more from Chris and how he's managing and leading in Torque in this interview. What prepared you from the past? Because I know that your grandfather was already importing different equipment, so you're already in the global business. How did those previous years with your parents and grandparents help you for your business?
I think there's one incident that I would remember is that in 1996, that's the year I joined the mobile phone business of my parents. On the first and second year, actually, we're not really doing well when I handled, because I'm very fresh from college.
Hindi ka nag-quit nung second year.
Oo, pero there's one thought kasi, my dad told me during that time, sabi ko, Dad, pasensya na, I think we're in the red. And this time, sabi nga, ikaw, if you know how to lose money, you have to learn how to make it back, to earn money back.
That's a nice statement to make to your children. Huh?
Yeah.
If you know how to lose money, then you better learn how to make it back.
Yes. And looking at his leadership as well as his entrepreneurship, during that time we have several companies, I said, I will make this work. And during that, on the third year, beginning of the third year, then hard work and luck, actually everything came pouring in talaga. We got 7-8 brands of mobile phones.
So therefore, you have now shifted from being a dealer of phone brands to an equipment provider.
Yes, correct.
So you've expanded.
We've expanded, yeah.
What did it require from you? What did you have to learn? What did you have to unlearn, perhaps?
From a principal point of view, now we're the principal already, and the distributor at the same time, is that we could do what we want, localize it to the local market, and then on our end,
okay, think global and act local.
Act local. Bring the entire technology, not exactly copy it, but to improve it. For example, this one year, we launched a triple SIM phone. During that time, there is no triple SIM phone in the world. We were the first brand to launch a triple SIM phone in the world. And it's a Filipino brand. We're a Filipino brand.
So what's the unlearning naman?
The unlearning part, I would say naman, is as a brand, the thing that we learned is, I I think it's time to go retail. That's why we opened close to 200 stores, Torque branded concept stores, kiosks, and mini concept stores.
So the unlearning is you unlearned that
distribution is not the only answer in creating a brand. But the retail part is more exciting because we could test products that they never mentioned of. Like for example, triple SIM. If we didn't make a triple SIM phone, how could they tell us a triple SIM phone will sell or will not sell?
So full spectrum ka na ngayon.
Yes, the full spectrum.
And how can you do that? How can you stretch yourself to go all the way to retail? From designing and sourcing and customizing from China.
I think it's really the passion and the commitment of the team because I think we're all very committed to make Torque a household name in the Philippines and hopefully could bring it out into some parts of Southeast Asia in the next few months.
Would you say that there's enough space for everybody to get into this market at this time?
Yeah, if you base it on demographics and geographics, I think there's still a very big segment of which it's still untapped. Mobile phones, there's like 40% to go, but for smartphones, there's 60% of the market to go. So I think there's still a lot of room for improvement and growth in the country. So I see people embrace the fact that we don't need to carry 3-4 devices going out. Right now, you could use everything with a handheld device, and hopefully, the concept that we intend is to change to put your wallet there already.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And the boardroom also, of course. Watching the boardroom on your phone is also very important.
Yes, that's important. That's why a lot of our phones would have it's either YouTube or analog TV.
So now let's look at your business. 24/7, 25/7. How can you live in an ever-changing environment?
Actually, that's the nice part there, Anthony, is that if there's a change in the marketplace or there's a change in technology somewhere, is that we can adjust. It's because we know what is inside our phone. Easily we could say, we could tweak this, change this part, and make it work. I think that's the whole thing. That's why hardware for us is very important because how strong your software would be if your hardware is not strong enough. It won't run the apps, the software.
How do I develop quickness, that agility, that alertness?
Yeah. On my end kasi it's already like, it's in me already because it's really about passion. But if you compare it to our team naman, is that me as the CEO, I would have to pass that same passion and apprehension to my people as well. So they have to comprehend that each and every move that we make is actually contributing not to help us, but to help feed the mouths of how many people in the company, as well as how do we help the Filipino people in communicating. For the past few years, what changes really me empowering my people, making them make decisions for the company. I think that's the recent success factor that we have is that there's everybody think like me now.
Are you like me, or the members of my crew around me, dropping your phone 3 or 4 times a day? Well, have no fear because Torque Mobile has repair centers in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao to get your phone back up and running anytime, anywhere. Well, when we come back, we talk about how Torque Mobile, through Chris, has gone through the bumpy road of technology, not only surviving, but remaining creative and innovative. That when the boardroom returns. From just 7 to almost 200 employees, Top Stress Global continues to deliver top-notch technology that Filipinos everywhere can afford. Let's continue to discuss with Chris's plans for his company, the tech industry, and for Filipinos like you and me. What's a typical day for people inside this company working in Torque?
One keyword to describe it is really agility. Everyone is like a warrior, everyone is like a fighter. That's the mentality that I try to cultivate here in the organization.
Do you hire fighters or do you mold them into becoming warriors after you hire them?
Sometimes you're lucky to hire fighters, but more often than not, you have to really mold them, guide them.
How about you as a CEO? What would a typical day be for Chris?
It's really social media.
Social media because?
Social media because this is where I get to learn.
Okay, so you're studying.
Yeah, studying.
What's going on with
That's
the
why
industry.
learn things that are local or abroad. At least we get to compare notes with the visions of my team and what is really ready in the market, what is readily available. So we have to like mix and match. And second is on the technology products,
Right.
how we can expand the product portfolio of Torque. Just to, like for example, you never hear like it's called the brand is not Torque Phone, Torque Mobile, Torque Wireless. There's like a vision behind it is we want to branch Torque into 6 different categories.
Okay.
One is communications, one is computing, one is consumer electronics, another one is personal electronics, one is timepieces. There's 5 or 6 pillars that we want to build around Torque.
Okay, from starting up to managing your company to growing it, how have you changed your leadership and management style?
I think we've grown from a very hands-on business, go to now I'm very hands-off because I really intend to bring the company to greater heights with more products as well as develop more companies which could support Torque in many other ecosystems.
So what is the future? Of course, you mentioned a few things already, but what in essence is the future of Torque?
I would say for Torque, the next goal namin is to be strong on the software side. Because I'm very proud to say that for the past 8 years, Torque has always held a very, very big space in the hardware segment of the mobile industry in the Philippines. Now we want to venture and say we also want to be strong in the software side. And with Torque, you already have the devices.
So hardware is the device.
Yeah, it's a
software would be what is featured inside.
Yeah, the OS as well as the platform that is incorporated in the device. So that is how you see the user interface. Is it user friendly? Can a 80-year-old person use your phone? That's what I want to invest on.
And that's an advantage of Torque, is that as you introduce software, you have the hardware. You mentioned this earlier.
Yes.
The problem with many app developers or even engineers or even creative young geeks is that they have the software, they have the app, but
They don't know where to place it.
yes, they have to line up and hope that these major devices will take them in.
Yeah.
In your case, nandiyan na yan, pasok mo
Yeah,
na.
we have how many millions of subscribers already? We just put them in. That's one. But of course, I wouldn't say that our goal is to just limit it to Torque users, but we want to open it up for everybody to enjoy and experience.
What is your vision for its impact on the future of this country?
A lot of companies have come in and wanted to invest in the Philippine market in preparation for the big jump of the e-commerce business. I think that is one thing that I really wanted to change, is that if we put it in the mobile phones and if they're carrying it already, let them do something on the phone, not just communicate, not just look at nice photos, but to actually operate it as your business tool as well.
What would your advice be for those who want to start up and grow their business in this kind of industry?
First is you really have to have the passion. Yes, there will be so many challenges along the way. Remember this technology, it changes. People say it's a number of months. The truth is it changes in the number of weeks.
Right.
Or could be days,
Right.
could be seconds. So this is where you have to be strictly passionate about. If you're not, like for example, sabi ko nga, if I'm not the type of person who'd go back home and check on YouTube or the other social media sites of new stuff, then I don't think Torque would be here.
Right. Have that passion.
You have to have the passion because technology, it moves so fast. One day that you say, I think I'm successful in this. I think you made a very big mistake already because 1 week later, you might be off the charts already. Yeah.
Well, you've been here for quite some time.
Yeah, this is my 20th year.
Congratulations. It's actually going to stay. And a few minutes I had with you, I did see both the depth and the passion in you.
Thank you.
And I'm sure our viewers will agree. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Maraming salamat. God bless you.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Today I learned that a great vision can start with a humble desire to meet a provision. Many years ago, a mobile phone for Chris's help and driver. Today, smartphones for the rest of the country. Join me again next week as we engage some of the country's top business leaders, innovators, and executives. I'm Anthony Pangilinan, and this is The Boardroom. Oh, thank you. I need it too.